And it's on. Okay. Normally it's a lot more zoomed in, but I guess we'll leave it this way, since I don't know what's actually happening with the camera situation.
Okay.
Okay. Let's readjust this. Okay, so today, I am going to be drinking my Bicycle Craft Brewery Cherry Vanilla Milkshake IPA. I actually know where the camera is. I'll digitally zoom in later. It is 6.7%, and that sounds delicious. Brewed with lactose, vanilla bean, and a part of sweet dark cherries, and a pile of sweet dark cherries. This IPA is fruity, refreshing, and subtly sweet. Full bodied aroma, blah 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 blah. I don't care. It is delicious. That's all that matters to me.
Okay, and I'm drinking this. It's called the Velociraptor. It's 8%. It's yummy.
Is it 8%?
Mm-hmm.
I totally forgot it was 8%. Maybe I'll have some too. Second time around. Just adjust your microphone. That's all I'm going to say. Just adjust it. Like there's a turn thing. Just turn the thing. Yeah, to loosen it up. Come on, you've had this on.
This is so much work.
Well, if you were here for the prep, then we wouldn't have to go through this. Or if you adjusted your microphone seconds ago. Anyway.
I don't know.
Now, that doesn't even look like beer anymore.
Yeah, it's starting to be... I don't think this is beer anymore. I think these IPAs are just, like, loosely under the category of beer. I mean, I feel like they're even closer to wine. It's like you're drinking carbonated wines.
No, okay. It can't be wine because it's a fruity flavor with subtle vanilla aftertaste. It says generously hopped with a Masonic and a Citra. These are types of hops, right?
This one has a Citra, too.
Yeah, because obviously. It's brewed with cherries and
all of them have, like, this one has berries. Like, they use fruit.
Which berries does that one have?
This one, I don't know. It just says berries.
What does it say? Let me see.
Ripened berries. It just says berries.
Just says berries. This is bigger, stronger, with a ton of flavor. Medium, citra, and tropical fruit. Okay. Citrus in the tropical fruit, not. Oh no, it is Citra and Eldorado hops.
So I couldn't get into the game last night, and I think all of my little people are probably starved to death now.
The game doesn't continue after you quit.
Okay, well, because the other game did.
No. This one pauses whenever you leave.
And there's no more algae. We're talking about, so Loki has gotten me to play Oxygen Not Included, and...
Next step is to actually get her start streaming it and then cry.
No, I'm already kind of bored of it. I don't know. I restarted a few times, and then I built, and then it's just like, I don't know. Now it's just, So, I don't know. I think I like overdo it. I played it for hours, and now I don't care. That's how I am with certain things. I binge, and then I get bored.
And that's it?
Yeah.
Give up?
No, I'll keep trying to play it, but I couldn't log in. It wouldn't let me log in yesterday. It said that you were still logged in, and then when I tried to say log you out anyways, it wouldn't go, so I couldn't open it on my laptop.
That's because I wasn't logged in on my laptop. You were logged in on your computer.
No.
My computer was off. Your other computer? Not on your laptop.
I hadn't opened it, though, on my other computer. I had played it only on the laptop.
That's really weird.
So I don't know. We have to try it later. Anyway.
Very, very subtle hints of cherry and vanilla. But I love the color. The color's fantastic. And it doesn't feel like we're drinking beer at all. But that's what you get when you pay like fucking $5 a can.
I know. So expensive. It's a very expensive hobby.
This isn't a hobby. It's a delicious mouthful with every sip.
Although, I mean, people spend like $6 on a coffee a day. At least we don't do that. With their like Starbucks latte, mocha, frappuccino, whatever's.
Yes.
There's so many ways that other people spend, specifically women, spend money that I don't. Like, I know so many girls who get their nails done. I've never done that. I haven't gone to get my hair cut in like a year. Women go like every few weeks just to get like their highlights redone. I do like clothes though.
You do. We spend
Really?
quite a bit of money on
And
clothes.
shoes. I love shoes. Okay.
Well, whatever. Clearly, we missed the beginning when. Maybe I'll rip the audio off the camera. That might be the next best solution because the camera is recording audio, so the microphones might be useless for just a little bit.
Okay. So what I was saying was I was listening to Ben Shapiro. Apparently, it went through. They deregulated it. Took out. There's no longer net neutrality is a thing officially for now, I guess. And Ben Shapiro was talking about it, and he was like there's pros and cons to it on both sides, but it's like it's not really not a big deal. It's not going to change much about the internet. And then people in the comments were saying, like, they were his fans, and they were saying, like, oh, Ben, we love you. You're usually right about everything, but you're wrong about this. There's only, like, 3 countries in the world that don't have net neutrality: China, Russia, and USA or something like that. And then others were, saying, like, explaining how it was, like, I don't know. I kind of understand what it is. Like, certain Netflix takes more bandwidth than, like, I don't know, Facebook. So if you want to use Netflix, you have to have a plan that would,
Well, net neutrality's been a touchy subject for, I guess, a while. I'm actually not brushed up on it. I don't know very much about it, but I've been talking about it, I guess. What can I say? People have been talking to me about it. People have been talking about it around me. So I can only say what I really know about the subject based on what other people have told me. Net neutrality, it's a way for all internet service providers to treat every single website out there equally.
Yeah.
Okay, so regardless of when you buy a service plan, they're supposed to provide you with unregulated speed. Is what the speed you got is the speed you got, and whichever website you go to, for every website, you have to go, and that's the speed you're supposed to get. It's basically your speed doesn't change. So what a lot of people said is, or not a lot of people said, what a lot of people are saying is going to happen is that if you take that away and say that internet service providers don't have to treat every website the same way, then what they're going to do is they're going to start charging you money for individual websites. Like if you want access to Netflix at a high speed rate, you have to pay them more money to have Netflix's high speed rate.
Yeah.
Technically, we've had similar things, but I've been listening to more and more people, and I try to be one of those people that tries to stay calm and relaxed about subjects instead of just jumping on them and yelling about them. So again, probably one of the reasons I didn't make a video about this is because net neutrality is relatively new. From what I understand, it was only put in place in 2015.
Apparently, this is something other countries have had. But I don't know if that's true either, or for how long. And
people say lots of things, but from what I understand, net neutrality has only been around since 2015, and the current meme I've been seeing is that, well, I'm glad that George W. Bush... it wasn't George W. Bush. If George W. Bush didn't... under George W. Bush, we didn't have net neutrality. And nothing got fucked up. Nothing was different. Nothing happened.
I think the only risk is that it would cost more for internet. But then I think in a way it still does open up options for I think smaller businesses might benefit from this. Smaller cable providing businesses.
Well, cable providing businesses? I don't know if cable providing businesses have anything to do with it.
I don't know, something like how AT&T
I think the program is fucking up again. This is ridiculous. Okay, I'm gonna go pause it. But anyway, so sorry for that break. I don't know if I'm gonna leave a technical difficulty sign up there or whatever, but something's gotta give here. So like under George Bush and all the other years we've had internet, no one's done anything, and nothing really changed. And
we
nothing
had
went
Netflix
anywhere.
all that time, right?
We did. the only thing that did occur was that people found out that they were being throttled. That did start happening by really shitty companies. I think Viacom.
What does that mean?
Okay, so what happens is people pay for Netflix. Like you pay for Netflix, and I pay for Netflix. Okay, I don't pay for Netflix. You pay for it, but
yeah.
Well, what happened was their streaming wouldn't go through fully.
Yeah.
So they would start. So the videos would have to keep stopping and buffering, and the internet companies kept saying, "Well, the internet you're paying for, we don't want to deliver you with 1080p quality video like all the time." At first, people started complaining to Netflix, and Netflix was like, "We're not the ones doing it. This isn't us. We're not slowing down what we're sending you. We are sending you 100% of the signal. The only reason you're not getting the whole signal is because it's your internet provider that's actually fucking you over. It's actually slowing down the information we're sending you."
Yeah.
Now, this goes back to the whole point of us in North America are getting raped badly by our internet companies.
That's what something I saw in the comments also saying, of how like right now we have capability to provide internet like at incredibly high speeds. It's the lack of ISPs and actually local governments putting regulations on getting access to cable lines and building, I guess, the whatever infrastructure you need to expand the internet.
Right. I was talking to Mark actually earlier, and I told him about me actually needing to expand my phone plan, and he kind of laughed at me. I want to get a better phone plan because apparently I'm going to be away from for work for quite a bit, but we'll get into that a bit later. And as it's turning out, he is in an undefined country somewhere in Europe, from what we understand. He's refusing to tell us where he's from. But he's like, for like half the price of what I'm paying right now, he's getting unlimited everything. And a really good signal the entire time as well.
I swear to God, Iran had better internet in 2011 or 2012 when I was there than Canada did.
Well, that's the weird part, is that I have a relatively major network for my phone, and my phone is constantly on like roaming. Like, I don't know where I am. I'm in Ottawa.
I know.
And my phone's like, I'm sorry, you're roaming. I'm sitting in here actually.
Oh yeah, Canada
room.
is specifically worse than the U.S. too, though.
Which,
and this does net neutrality related to that comment? Does net neutrality even affect Canada?
No, because we're governed by a completely different body. We're not America. So the laws that their government passes means nothing to us.
Okay.
Again, our government passes different laws, which we've talked about. Remember when our government decided to put a tax on Netflix because they decided they fall under the same category as television and radio? Mm-hmm. And they're like, well, because you're broadcasting in Canada, you now have to provide, as the Canadian government says, 20% Canadian content. Mm-hmm. Which they said either pay a hefty fee, or you just literally pay to produce Canadian content. Which is strange because we're watching that stupid Frontier show, and I couldn't figure out why I thought it was so fucking bad. Like, really high production value. It has a really
They're talking, Politipod in their chat in their thing yesterday were talking about how that show is so good. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Anyway, I don't care about Politipod right now. Politipod, I'll talk about that in a bit too. The problem, not the problem. The whole thing is, it's actually going to benefit me if I ever get around to planning my business number for the Silerious corporation business, and actually apply for a bunch of grants. I think I'm eligible for up to $60,000 a year just to be a Canadian content producer. So if that happens, that'll be fantastic.
I wonder if Rebel Media got grants.
Oh, they absolutely did. I guarantee you.
To try to shit talk the government. At least see, sometimes our government, when you look at other places, our government's still not so bad. It's pretty bad.
Our government, okay, but the entire whole point of that is that the government is trying to fund Canadian content creators and to make it seem like they're on par with other content creators from all over the world. And because they're giving them money for nothing, it's actually creating a less competitive market field, which is actually making Canadian content worse in the long run. This is why you can watch a show like Frontier, where you can see they spent millions of dollars in costume design, hired professional actors, got real people, real sets, everything looks fantastic. It's incredibly high production value. But like, I could tell that something is completely off. Like the dialogue was garbage. The takes they were taking was horrible. The director was probably shit. And it's because they hired all Canadian people. I'm sorry, this is because you don't have a high production value show.
Okay, but you know how many American shows are filmed in Canada with Canadian staff and Canadian
okay, that's different. That's different. When you're filming in America, you don't get Canadian grants, right? Well, when you produce the content in America and you get whatever, you can still make shitty content all over the world. But the point is that Netflix is forced to create Canadian content, no matter how bad it is. They have to feature it on their website as if it's good content, which it's not. It's not at all good content. Like, I thought it would be really good, but I started to fall asleep halfway through the first episode.
There's one Canadian-made show that is actually one of my favorite shows, and I think was really well done, and that's Being Erica. I watched that show twice. I'll watch it a third time.
I've still never seen that show, and I have no idea
it's more of a chick show. That's why. But it's really good, really well written, really well acted. It's an incredible show. There is some good Canadian, and I think there's more. There is, anyways, whatever. I'm not saying
all Canadian shows are garbage. I'm saying I could tell that there was something wrong with the show. It was on Netflix, and everything seemed off. And you could tell, I knew instantly it was a Canadian TV show once they mentioned the Hudson Bay Company. I'm like, oh, it's a Canadian-based show, and that's why the dialogue is complete garbage and unbelievable and whatever.
Hey, Americans seem to like it, but Americans also like Degrassi, which I can't understand for the life of me.
I went to school with a bunch of people.
I know, everyone did. Anyone who grew up in Toronto knows someone who was on Degrassi, or was on Degrassi for an extra episode or something. But I've never met anyone in Toronto that actually ever watches the show. But so many Americans love that show.
I wonder why.
I don't know.
What are you people fascinated by? We don't actually say a boot. Unless we say do we say a boot?
No, but we do say A.
I say A all the time.
I say A.
By the way, that whole A thing, when I first moved to Canada, I started saying it sarcastically because I started noticing that people are saying it. And at some point, I stopped saying it sarcastically and started saying it unironically. And because I started saying it unironically, it became part of the way I talk. And there's sayings and there's a bunch of other shit that goes with it. So it's interesting how culture gets assimilated inside of your mind, even if it is ironically at first. But that also might be part of the whole 90s generation, right? I don't even know if I'm being sarcastic.
I just think that when we were talking about that stream on identity, I think your little spiel about how your country doesn't exist and how you're not a Canadian citizen and how the Russians rejected you and the black people beat you up and then all of these things about how you never belong to any cultural group.
The Jews beat me up first. Okay?
Oh yeah, the Jews.
I was picked on by the Jews in Israel first because I wasn't Jewish enough. And then I wasn't poor enough and couldn't relate to the black people, so they beat me up. And at some point, you just...
And all of that. But I just think you're stubborn and like to be the lone wolf. So, I have air quotations. Like to be the lone wolf and not wolf. Because I always felt, and especially one of the reasons I wanted to study social psychology when I was an undergrad is because identity was actually something that was really interesting to me. And when I was thinking about my undergraduate thesis, when I was doing it, was going to be something related to identity because I always felt that because I had come to because I had come to Canada at such a young age, and most of the other Iranians that came to Toronto came at a little bit of an older age. I was never Persian enough to fit in with the Persian kids, and then never white enough, or never had the freedom that my parents would allow to hang out and really assimilate with the white kids, or the other, it was mostly Jewish people at our school anyway, but. Depending, on the family, because some Jewish parents are worse than Persian parents. They're very strict. So,
strict? And
yeah.
Guilt with it.
Yeah.
Don't forget about the guilt.
Yeah, but...
That's what's called Jewish guilt, not Persian guilt.
So I didn't know for a long time that the word Jap was a bad word, because in Toronto, what Jap means is Jewish American princess.
It means that everywhere.
No, in America or in other places, it means like the Japanese, and that's what they called them during that whole like incident after World War II. And so like that's what people think when you talk about the Japs. I don't know very many people who know like, and there was like self-proclaimed Japs at our school, like, and they would wear rude sweatpants. I feel like this is a Canadian thing. They were our like Valley girls, but Canadians. And instead of wearing like acting like Clueless, they talk and walk the same like Clueless, but would wear Birkenstock shoes, sweatpants, have side ponytails, and like just like spaghetti tops, and like you know exactly what I'm talking about.
See, she's part of the generation that's I don't know if you ever like okay. So at some point in my school, everyone wore sweatpants, and people wore enough
Roots
sweatpants.
sweatpants,
Yes,
too.
yes.
Which is Canadian.
The ones,
so.
either roots or the
on your
bump
ass,
off. Yeah,
on your ass, and they
right
were
on your ass.
baggy, yeah.
So when a bunch of guys got around to doing is they decided that it's a stupid fashion, they started pantsing girls all the time.
Oh no, that was the tearaways.
No.
Oh,
I'm not even talking about the tearaways. The tearaways absolutely happened. Well, from grade 9 to 10, all the girls were wearing fucking tearaways, and guys would run by and fucking tear their pants off.
Yeah, and then they started wearing cute little hot underwear. It's interesting, actually.
That's I guess when we started noticing the thongs. Because if you wear white, like Adidas
No, because like
tearaways,
I would wear tearaways, but I would wear shorts with them underneath in case that would happen. But it's like some like the slutty girls would wear like hot pink like panties, and then like no, you're taking my pants away.
Yeah,
oh my god! Now imagine if that happened in 2017 in the current climate. Guys ripping off pants, girls. Oh my god, these kids would be expelled from school. They're
sexual assault
These are my
charges, police
friends.
get called.
They were my friends. It was a joke. You knew it was coming when you wore the pants.
See, now you're being a rape apologist. You can't be a rape apologist in 2017. Oh, by the way, it's almost 2018.
Yeah.
2017 is almost done.
Yeah.
Well, what a year it's been. What a fun year it's been of just retardation. But, so the girls just kept getting pantsed. Just over and over again, until the school said, that's it, no more sweatpants. They literally outlawed sweatpants. At the same time, they said, no more spaghetti straps. No more tube tops. You remember tube tops?
Yeah.
Yeah. Guess what? If you can't pull off the pants, you might as well just pull the tube tops down.
Yeah.
And girls who wear tube tops decide not to wear bras either. So they're like, nope.
Well, you couldn't, because the straps would ruin it.
Right. So that's no longer appropriate fashion wear for school.
Yeah, no.
Which I agree with. Absolutely.
Especially if you were like me and you were when you were in your young adolescence, your chest was not that developed, and therefore the tube tops would slide down and wouldn't stay up because there's nothing there to keep them up.
Stories from Siggy. Okay, the program looks like it's still running, but it's really giving me a hard time today. I feel like I have to restart my computer and start this entire live stream over. Well, at least that's what the camera's for. Hopefully that'll get...
I wonder if that's still running.
Well, no, it's not when it stops running, when the lens goes back in.
Oh, right, okay.
Right, that's how it informs us. It's like, I'm done. No more of this. This time around, though, I decided to charge the camera all the way through. And maybe it will just stop recording and let me know that it stopped recording. And then it will let me record some more afterwards. Maybe we'll get more than half an hour's worth of footage.
I feel like it's already been past half an hour, has it not?
Yes.
So?
I don't know. Let's find out if it's still recording. It's still recording. There's 1 minute and 20 seconds left. Let's stop it.
Okay. Anyway, so it has been quite a year.
Quite a year is...
And next year is going to be another...
full year?
Packed full of things year. So, you wanted to...
Yeah, so apparently my job is going to be taking me out of town for the majority of the week, which I've kind of informed you all about. We're going to be installing solar panels on a small farm, I guess. Okay, it's not a small farm at all. Farms don't come small anymore. They now come in factory settings with huge roofs all over the place. My company predicts the project is going to take about 3 months to do, which is pretty good. But it's over an hour out of the city, and they're giving me an option of whether I want to drive back and forth through the city and wreck my car, or
yeah, I didn't even think about that. Let's not put the mileage on the car.
The mileage on the car.
Yeah.
Not even the gas, the mileage on the car.
Yeah.
And I have a pretty decently new car, I guess.
Yeah.
So their choices are that they'll pay for my hotel room out there and give me a per diem, which is more money than I normally do because I'm working out of town and not coming home. So basically, like, I guess it's a decent amount more money. It makes it very much worth it to stay out of... they'll give me the money regardless, but like the mileage in the car and the gasoline kind of evens it out. And staying in the hotel room that they'll be paying for...
And then driving for 3 hours a day.
Yeah, the driving for 3 hours a day is definitely not worth... It's kind of... It's kind of. No, I know you wouldn't do it.
It's like my worst nightmare.
You moved to
Your entire job sounds like my worst nightmare. Being out all day in the cold. If like that would be like my hell.
If you guys join the Discord, I'll occasionally post pictures of me at work, me on like roofs covered in snow and like building solar panels. The other day, my eyelashes had fucking ice all over them.
Yeah, no.
From my breath. What I was doing is I'm wearing a balaclava. So like my breath escapes from the top, from like around the nose area into my eyelashes. My eyelashes were developing icicles on them. It was one of the coldest days around. There was a whole warning, and my bosses were incredibly happy that not only did we work that day, but we excelled that day, and worked our asses off. Which also means we may be getting bonuses. You know, they keep hinting at pretty decent bonuses since I'm going to be off for an entire week. Between I guess.
Mm-hmm.
The end of next week and Christmas.
Yeah.
Oh, does that mean we're not going to be doing our podcast next week? Maybe that the week after that. Because you'll be in Toronto.
Yeah, no, we're invited somewhere that night.
I'll be in Toronto.
Yeah, you'll be in Toronto, and it's Christmas Eve, so we're with family that night.
That's Sunday. Sunday is Christmas Eve.
Next Sunday is Christmas Eve. Oh my God, how fast time flies.
Wow. Just, I don't know, guys. I don't know what to do.
I feel like, I can't even believe there's snow on the ground. Like, I feel like August was yesterday. It feels like we've just recently moved into this place and it's been a few weeks.
It hasn't. It's been three different
Every
jobs
week
from
feels
me.
like a day to me.
Yeah, but that's what everyone's been saying for years. That like when you get old, time just flies.
Oh, that sucks.
It just flies by. You get busy. Like I'm working every day, and every day that I'm working, I don't even care. I don't care about working anymore. Time flies by. I don't focus. I focus on my work, and the day just goes by, and I don't care.
Yeah.
People are like, "Do you want to take a break?" I'm like, "I don't care. Why would I take a break? I can just keep going. They'll fucking finish sooner. I can go home and have beer." I love this beer, guys.
So wait, are you gonna take beer with you?
Maybe. There's a slight chance that I might have to take my beer with me, and then me and you can have our daily beers over either Discord or over the phone, and we'll sit around and we'll talk.
Okay.
Well, I think we've covered this. We have a nightly tradition of we sit around the kitchen and have beers together. I don't know how she's gonna eat if I'm not there.
I'm gonna eat a lot of toast with cheese on top, melted on top, and tomatoes. That'll be my diet probably.
But with that comes the problem that I'm probably not going to be doing dumpster fire anymore.
Yeah.
For those of you,
our friend Sugar was upset about that, or was asking me about that, and I wasn't aware of this until I guess.
Well, I wasn't aware of this.
Put two and two together.
Well, no, I wasn't aware of this until literally earlier on today when we talked about it and said, yeah, it's probably best that I actually go out of town and stay out of town for the week. Like, I'll be back every weekend, but.
Which means Friday nights will be the only, like Friday and Saturday nights will be the only nights we kind of have together.
So I'm probably not going to be doing dumpster fire anymore. I'm looking for candidates to replace me. And I know I'm irreplaceable.
Well,
I know you guys love me.
We all know everyone comes for me anyways, and not you.
That's true. I've had the discussion with people asking if they actually want to take my place, and they told me no because no one gives a shit. because they were only there to watch Siggy.
I'm kidding. I was kidding.
I'm not.
No.
People like Siggy's fantastic. Everyone loves Siggy. She is the main draw, and if she's not there, nobody else cares to be there either. That's why I'm incorporating the Siggy, and she's mine forever.
Incorporating? Are you gonna copyright me?
I'm a copyright. I do own you. You're part of Silerious.
Nope, you still got to put that ring on the finger if you really want to own me.
the what do you call it? The persona known as Siggy, the wife of Loki. It's Sigyn, wife of Loki, one of many wives of Loki.
One of many wives.
Loki had several wives. It's a Norse culture. But she was the best. She was the best.
No, she was the true.
Yes, she is the one that took care of Loki and nurtured him to cause the apocalypse. After he was banished to the bottom of whatever the fucking hell version of hell was, for Loki to be chained up and have snake poison drip in his eye all day long. She would stay by his side.
It was just like a drop of water.
No. It was snake.
Isn't that a form of torture?
Yes, but it was snake venom.
Oh, okay.
And then she stood by him and took care of him.
And held a bucket above his head.
And held a bucket or whatever to prevent the poison from it, while slowly whispering in his ear to destroy the world and take revenge for what they've done to him. Yeah.
She's the real god of chaos.
Hashtag relationship goals, guys. Hashtag relationship goals.
Well, I was just saying, I mean, and if anyone's a Shakespeare fan, they will know that one of the strongest, truest, best villains in Shakespeare was fucking Lady Macbeth. She took that poor king and got him to do whatever she wanted.
That was goddamn good.
Do you want to pause to get another beer?
How much
and
more
I
time
could
do we have?
pee.
You can pee. Well, we have 20 minutes, 10 minutes. Do you want to pee? Do you want to pause?
Yeah.
All right, guys, we'll be right back.
Mikey, how long have you been down here?
She's been there ever since we started vacuuming, and then she went to sleep in that corner. And then she saw me come in, get some shit, and leave. And she's like, "Oh, fuck that! I'm staying out here. There's no vacuum down there."
Babe.
What?
So cute. Can you just go with us?
How did she come with us?
Get her a carrying case.
How are you gonna get her into?
I'll lay down places for her to poop and pee in the car.
In the car?
Yeah.
You want me to take her in the car?
Yeah.
Not you on the plane.
No.
Me in the car.
Yeah. You can, if you clean out the car, you can just let her roam free, and we just put a bunch of towels and stuff down for where she can poop and pee.
I can literally take, what do you call it? The litter box and put it in the car, in the passenger sides. But then she's gonna shit in the car while I'm driving. And I want to smell cat shit. And she's gonna scratch everything because she's a fucking cat.
Babe.
Anyway.
But she's so cute, and I don't want to leave her alone.
Okay. Well, see, you didn't cue the people at home who are watching, or
She's gonna be all alone and by herself.
Did you pour the rest of this in?
Yes. Oh my god, it's like
Whatever.
a little.
Okay, so I have transitioned to a new beer because the other one was delicious, but you can't have too much of a good thing. Well, I mean, you can have too much of a good thing, but I just don't want to have too much of it right now. This is Filibuster. This is Dominion City's #1 beer, apparently. The highest rated beer they got. And
This one can was better than the last can.
That's impossible. They're the same can.
I don't know. Something is more settled about this one. Maybe I shook it more.
All right.
I think I'm getting hit by the beer.
Of course. That's the whole point of being Silerious. Now look at this beer, guys. Look at this beer. Look at that. What the fuck is that, eh?
It feels like you need a fork and knife to eat it.
No. This beer is delicious. It just looks like fucking
It
orange
looks like
juice.
soup.
This soup the fuck have you been eating?
It looks like potato squash soup.
This is also 8%. As we tasted it in the store, this is absolutely delicious too. Like the legislative tactics.
What did that taste like? Can I try some? Excuse me.
Oh, you gotta talk into the microphone. Let the people know.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, no.
It tastes like bitter liquid cake.
Bitter liquid cake. Yep. Sit back and relax. We just don't plan on doing anything productive for a while. Like legislative tactic, for which the beer is named. Filibuster invites you to sit back and relax. Just don't plan on doing anything productive for a while. Loaded with juicy hops flavor, tropical aroma, and a considerable malt body. This double IPA will get you talking.
Okay, well.
Too bad we have like 5 minutes left.
No, we don't.
That's right. We're not a television network. We don't give a shit for how long we go, as long as we have things to talk about.
Joe Rogan goes for like 3 hours on his podcast.
Joe Rogan has interesting people on his podcast. By the way, one day there will be a third person here, like right here somewhere, and there won't be a fireplace to keep you warm. There will be a person we actually converse with. We just need the space
to build the robot.
The equipment, and maybe to dox yourself so we can finally be on camera.
Mm-hmm. Only after I get my 6-pack.
Siggy's planning to get another 6-pack of beer.
No, I mean 6-pack abs. That's what I mean.
So we're all waiting. We're all waiting. If you guys should see how much filibuster. You got no shitty label, delicious beer. You guys should see the amount of beer, the amount of beer Siggy's been drinking to get that 6-pack. And doing a lot of interesting work. Really putting in those squats and crunches.
I have been actually.
I wouldn't know. I've been at work, freezing my ass off on top of rooftops, trying to not slip off and slide down. I'm gonna post more pictures of the work I do and the work I finish per day. Mm-hmm. Just so all you people on Discord who give a flying fuck
know that you're a productive member of society. You're saving the environment, man.
No. Our friends been demanding that on the Discords we start creating a new role for people. It doesn't have to actually do anything. It just to help us identify people. It's unemployed and employed. I don't know which name he wants to go by, but I'll go with his current name, Todd Buckford. Is demanding that we create a new role and make sure that people who show up to the server to hang out just have that right there in their name. So when you click on them, you can tell whether they're employed or unemployed.
Who the communists are.
Who the communists are. I'm actually thinking of doing a small recap show of what happened over the course of like last month or week or how frequent shit happens on Discord, because it's been turned into a live, thriving community of like people who come and go and do weird interactions.
Yeah, we've been having fun in there.
But like, yeah, you can always tell who the communists are. They show up and they're like, I'm somewhere out of Eastern Europe and I'm unemployed. Also, communism is the answer. Give me more of your money. That's not how that works.
Honestly, I've been feeling like the conversations Will and Trigger and I have been having about this paper that we're writing, we should be recording because they're actually really interesting conversations. So I guess since we're updating, I am trying to apply for an award. Well, it's a competition. You submit a paper. It has to be 1,500 words as a grad student. And the question is about, I don't remember it off by heart, but something regarding the relationships between Russia and NATO at the moment, and if deterrence theory, social deterrence theory applies to it, and in the current era of nuclear and cyber and all the other technological ages of warfare, where are you going? What are you looking for?
Keep going, keep going.
Anyway.
I promise this makes more sense than it seems to.
Okay. Oh, are you trying to fix the table? You might be putting yourself on camera right now.
I'll block it out, I don't care. Well, not that I don't care, I'll just block it out.
Anyway, so if social deterrence theory is still something that can apply between the relationship of Russia and NATO right now, and in the current age of technological warfare, how can we create a climate to guarantee that there wouldn't be like a nuclear war? And so we've been working on this, and we've been talking about it, and...
Has someone suggested nuking all the people that want to nuke you?
Well, that's...
Because I understand how the West wants to take everything calm and relax and just be like, well, we're not going to have a nuclear war. Sure, we have all the nuclear weapons we could possibly ever want. But also, we're probably not going to use them. But they're a good deterrent for the people who do want to use their nukes and only have a couple.
Well, that's what we've been talking about.
Because we can shoot down 1 or 2, 3, 7, 10 nuclear weapons out of the sky. Like North Korea can't even get their nuclear weapons into the sky. Most of them end up in the ocean. Which is another point. Peter, you might want to get on that. Because if North Korea keeps shooting nuclear missiles up into the air and they keep falling into the ocean, they might be polluting the ocean. You might want to take your boats over there and just be like, no more nuclear tests, you're harming the fish and the reefs.
That's true.
Yeah. So, if they can't get their rockets up into the air, but we have missile defense systems, like we have people willing to fly into missiles to prevent them from exploding in our countries.
Well, maybe we'll have a live stream about it, and you can join once we actually write the paper.
Or you guys could also record what you're doing. Like any one of you can just grab up OBS and record what you guys are talking about.
We could, but it's no. I think that's too much work, and also like it's hard to write the paper. Maybe once we're done and we've kind of formulated it, we'll have a conversation about it.
Live stream the conversations we're having.
Well, yeah, I did, but now I'm taking that back. But I'm just saying we've been having some interesting conversations about it because it's very interesting about how to deal with like it raises all of these questions about predicting behavior and how. What happens if what you predict is not what's happening, and the individual versus the group? Like, how do you deter one person versus how do you deter a country or a group or an organization? So it's raising a lot of interesting questions actually about social psychology. So I don't know. It'd be cool if I win.
That would be really cool. I hope you win and you get all that money.
Yeah.
And you give that money to other people. No, other people.
No, that money's going to us. I'm not a socialist. I'm not sharing my hard work.
Oh, no.
Well, I am sharing it with those who are helping me, specifically write the paper. And, like, literally.
Literally write the paper.
Mm-hmm.
Or... This is starting to taste more and more like orange juice. Maybe.
I'm telling you. That's straight up what it looks like. I was trying to be creative with alternatives, but it just looks like orange juice. This at least looks like you're drinking beer. Whatever, there's alcohol in it. It's a screwdriver.
There's a lot of alcohol.
Is it better than a vodka orange?
It's 8%.
Is it better than a vodka orange?
Yes. It is significantly better than the vodka orange. If
Okay,
this is
so
all
it's
orange
better
juice
than
and a little bit of vodka, this would probably have more alcohol in it.
Sometimes the beer gets a little bit bitter.
Well, no, it doesn't. Because when you're drinking Sunsplit and when you're drinking Paper Salesman, it doesn't get bitter.
Anyways, we've all been very busy working away at solving nuclear crises of the world.
She's trying to solve nuclear crisis of the world. I'm trying to provide the world with green energy. I know.
See? And then they can't call us, then they say we're like the alt-right conservative. What makes us, we're like the front page liberal.
It's because of all the opinions we hold that are
We're an
wrong.
interracial couple.
Yes.
We are from oppressed countries.
Me, literally from a communist country, a union, as I like to refer to. I've been making that joke at work quite a bit. I'm like, well, I'm from the socialist, from the USSR. And like, the fucking, United Socialist Union of Republic, or whatever the hell they want to call it. And I'm like, I was literally from a union. This is why I don't like unions. They're like, I get it now. I get it because it was a union. Literally, that's what it was. The word union is in there as well as communism or socialism, whatever the fuck it was.
Mm-hmm.
And all we learned from that is that when you take an entire country of like 100 million people and you kill 100 million of them, the 50 million that are left are like, I don't think this is a good idea anymore, man. Can we go back to capitalism? I kind of want to have a toothbrush this month.
Well, I was telling you a little bit about the conversation. I think it was between Rucka and Dave Rubin. But this idea where communism is kind of idealized as in a way of like, if only it would work, it would just be great.
Oh, this week I had that conversation too.
How we need to not how we need to not that's what we need to take away. Even if the utopian communist world is shit compared to having the utopian capitalist world. If
there's no such thing as a utopian capitalist world. What there is idealism regarding socialism and communism. But we're talking about that, and I'm pretty sure this already exists, but I'm definitely going to make T-shirts made of it. It's the front of it is going to say communism was never done right, and then the back it is going to say because the only way to do it right is not at all.
Sounds fun.
And I want people to start using that as a catchphrase. Next time some fucking idiot liberal tells you that communism was never done right, you repeat that. That's right, It was never done right, because the only way to do it is not at all.
Either way, I'm just saying, we're both immigrants, we're an interracial couple, you save the environment, I help homeless people, and people can
You're also trying to solve the nuclear crisis of the world. Just for fun. For fun, guys, on the side of the podcast. Let's not bring capitalism into it to trigger all the lefties listening.
Yeah, I love how the lefties who want to have a world without nuclear weapons are like, let's save this, let's get the solution by offering money to people.
Because that's the only way people want to do things, is it for money. You can't, imagine, okay, I'm not going to get into that. I just got triggered a little bit. And I hate when I start triggering myself, and I hate the fact that I use the word trigger. I hate the fact that I use the word trigger to literally describe my mental state, because I guess they were right. It is triggering. It's a
good word.
It is good. It's a good idea.
It's an accurate description of something. It's about the. It's not the problem with the word being triggered. It's about what should be the reaction of you getting triggered.
Right. So here's the difference in being triggered. I get triggered, and I'm going to go on a long, extended rant explaining why something is a retarded idea. When feminists get triggered, they want to break down and cry because it reminds them of a trauma.
No. Triggering was originally something that is referred to people who have some form of PTSD, where something that is related to the traumatic incident
will trigger a
recall. But the idea, the solution to that is not to make sure that person never deals with things that trigger them.
Because Scientology actually got one thing right. What Scientologists got right is that what you have to do is take people's trauma and expose them to it to such a degree where they have no other choice but to actually deal with it or kill themselves. The problem was that they were letting people deal with that or confront the situation so much that they ended up killing themselves.
Okay, sure. Also therapy.
Well, see,
cognitive behavioral therapy, emotion-focused therapy.
I know you're all about the therapies. I know you're all about
systematic desensitization. All people get through their phobias. People can get through lives and live and deal with getting triggered. You can. It's not.
There's a difference between getting triggered. Like, I get triggered by literally reminding myself of retarded shit that happened earlier this week on Discord.
Earlier this week on Discord.
No. Okay. I'm going to reveal a small hint because nobody's going to fucking watch this anyway. But what I want to do is do a weekly recap of stupid shit that happened on Discord or random garbage that happened on Discord. For an example...
You have to take screen caps then.
No, fuck the screen caps. I'm just going to tell people who were there will know. Like, it's...
But that's not being inclusionary.
I'm sorry, I can't record 100% of what happens on Discord and then provide video evidence.
No, but when something happens...
This week... No, listen. This week, Devil's Advocate jumped into my personal live streaming voice channel while we're all hanging out 3 times. During those 3 times, he was really excited, and the first time he warned us he was going to reveal some secret information, and we told him not to because, like, think about what you're doing, because we're here.
Live. This wasn't this week. This was like 2 weeks ago.
No, this was this week.
No, that was like 2 weeks ago.
You were literally not here for the past 3 days, okay?
This was weeks ago.
No. It happened again. The whole point is it happened again.
Oh.
The second day after that, the day after that, he came in and was about to reveal some new information. Again. But he, like, almost made sure. He was like, okay, I really have something to tell you, like, blah, 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 blah. Like, everyone who needs to know has to come with me somewhere. And we're like, again, DA, you're in a live streaming channel. Don't jump in and talk about secret information, how you need to whisk people away. That's not how live streaming channels work.
Yeah.
So on the third day, DA jumped in and got so excited that he revealed all the information off by hand. Like, literally, he didn't let a single other person say a single other thing and just revealed all of the secret information.
What was the secret information?
Well, I literally can't reveal it because it's still secret information. It will continue to be secret information.
Did you take down the thing?
No one was live streaming. The whole point is I hang out in my live streaming channel, but I don't always live stream out of it. I just live stream out of it. But I mean, like, the habit is that if I'm live streaming in that channel, I'll be hanging out in that channel, and it's my channel. And therefore, you should probably not jump in and reveal secret information about other people. But he jumped in and just revealed all the secret information about other people. Literally, last week, he jumped in and revealed secret information where Baron had to delete.
Yeah. No, that was a few weeks ago.
That was a few weeks ago, where he jumped in again to my live streaming channel, where me and Varen were hanging out, and Varen was live streaming out of it. It may be my live streaming channel, that doesn't mean other people can't use my live streaming channel to live stream. And revealed secret information, and Varen had to go back and delete the live stream. Like, this is a reoccurring thing that's happening, and it's ridiculous. But I love DA, he's great. He keeps sending me dick pics. He keeps sending me dick pics, and I'm okay with that.
He's no longer sending me dick pics, so I'm very happy with that, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, okay. So I got out of the system.
I'm not a prude. I'm not very comfortable talking explicitly.
Aren't your parents subscribed to this channel?
Yeah. Well, but even regardless of that, like when DA comes in and starts discussing things. And making certain crude... I defend people's right to say crude things. I just am not a fan.
But see, that's the beautiful part of
them if they're a comedian.
You are a freedom of speech advocate. Mm-hmm. You just choose not to exercise a large portion of that right. Mm-hmm. You're not into talking about lewd things or posting.
Like I'll say like pussy. I don't like the word cunt so much. It's just such an ugly word.
Connotations?
No, like cunt, like a cunt.
You guys ever heard my theory that actually the reason British and Australian people have the ability to say cunt? Yeah, because they're literally saying the word cunt. Yeah. It's because when they say it, they mean can't, not cunt. Well, they just pronounce it as cunt. And then they're like, you can't. And they're like, oh my god, you can't.
Oh my god.
So if you actually think about it, like, whenever they say you can't, you can actually apply just you can't to it. And it makes perfect sense. Which is why they're allowed to say cunt. And I am also allowed to say cunt because...
Yeah, but British people can say whatever they want and they still sound good. Like, even when they say... Yeah, like, that's an ongoing joke in, like, British gangsterish movies.
Yeah, but British
people...
Where
they can say, like, I don't fucking care. No, although there's that dirty type. There's still proper British, and then there's, like, the old bloke.
The posh.
The bloke, and the poor people type of British.
The Cockney British?
I don't know.
What are you thinking? Brad Pitt in Snatch?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking about.
Okay.
I love that movie.
That's Snatch.
My God.
Snatch, that's another euphemism for vagina.
Yeah, I brought this up before, and then somebody else brought it up on Joe Rogan, but, like, if they make Brad Pitt a sexual predator, my world will fall apart.
Okay, first of all. The majority of the narrative is this ugly, fat, disgusting people have been sexually
But they're gonna catch on that
people.
predator, and they're gonna go after someone who no one would say no to. No one.
Like Brad Pitt. Like if Brad Pitt hits on you or sticks his hands down your pants, I'm not sure how many people would be.
I don't think if you're gay or straight, if Brad Pitt wanted to have sex with you, you would do it.
I don't know if I'll do it, but I mean, like if Brad Pitt walked up to me and shoved his hand in my pants, I might let him jerk me off and be like, yeah. You know what? That's a point of contention for me, okay? I was good enough for Brad Pitt to jerk off, okay?
Wouldn't that be the hugest compliment in the world? Like, he's Brad Pitt. Like, come on.
He was voted the sexiest man alive several times over by Time magazine.
No, and he's also such an underrated actor. Like, he is such a good actor before Angelina Jolie.
This is not our television.
I really want to do a stream about TV shows and movies.
If you guys actually give a fuck, if you guys actually give a fuck about us talking about television or music or whatever else,
and I are huge TV junkies.
We're not huge TV junkies, but I love. No. We haven't seen everything because certain shows I start and I'm like, this is trash. I literally started this podcast off talking about a trashy TV show I wanted nothing to do with. Like, Archer was good up until season 4, when I'm like, what the fuck happened in season 4? Season 5 and 6 and 7? What the fuck is going on? Season 8 was a dream episode. A dream season. Why are we having a dream season?
I go back and watch the earlier episodes.
Which is why... Okay, let's not talk about that. Like, Rick and Morty was good up until the fan base ruined it all, and feminism ruined it all, and then...
Rick and Morty's...
No,
are you gonna be one of those that used to be good until it got mainstream?
I'm sorry, literally, the meme of Rick and Morty, the thing that represents Rick and Morty is Pickle Rick. Now, that episode
That's
was...
not the strongest episode.
It's not the strongest episode, but that is the biggest meme. That's what everyone knows now, is Pickle Rick. But, like, the entire point of that episode was at the end, when he gets to the psychiatrist's office, and he, like, they have this whole huge, amazing exchange between each other about Rick's god complex and how he needs to control everything, and everything he doesn't control, he fucking blames on other people. And while he's also shitting on the psychiatrist for doing the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And like, that was a fantastic exchange. That was actually really, really cool.
And people don't focus on that part?
No, they love the fact that he turned himself into a pickle, and he's Pickle Rick now. And what is it? Pickle Rick, bitch, right? It's Pickle Rick. It's the fucking idiot audience that doesn't understand the subtleties and the nuances of a show.
I know that everyone wants to make the show seem out to be this, like, smart, really intellectual show, and if you're a fan of it, then you get it, and, like, if you don't get it, if you don't like it, you're just too dumb to understand. But, like, I get that, and they have, like, the Schrodinger's cats and whatever's in it, and the parallel universes to make, but it's not that smart of a show. Like, it's good.
Are you talking about Rick and Morty?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I think it's kind of hyped up that if you have a show about science, like, everyone... It's the same hype that was around Big Bang Theory in the first season.
Don't repeat that bullshit. Okay, Big Bang Theory was legit a smart show. A smart show. I'm doing that now. A smart show regarding people who knew science, who made science jokes. Okay? They made fucking science jokes. And I got some of the science jokes. I got it. Like, they made jokes regarding...
So that Halloween episode with when he was wearing the suit in one of the first two seasons, when Sheldon's wearing the whatever, keep going.
Anyway, the whole point was that the show legit made science jokes. It was a show for intelligent people because intelligent people made intelligent jokes. It's about season 3 where was it season 3? When did Sheldon start saying bazinga? And then everyone's like, bazinga! And then every motherfucker in the world starts fucking using the term bazinga as like the catchphrase for that entire fucking show. And like, that's not what that show was about. It wasn't about Sheldon making a corny joke and yelling bazinga as if you fucking got somebody. It was legitimately people who were above average smart cracking small-time dumb jokes around at each other, but also dumbing the jokes down enough for regular people to understand. I say regular people to understand, but I know most people didn't. And I have to live with that my entire fucking life, knowing that I might be above average.
You know that's called like a bias that everybody has to think.
I'm drinking $5 fucking beer. Fuck the fucking redneck fucking idiots who don't understand Schrodinger's cat.
I don't understand Schrodinger's cat. I know it's like a thing. I don't know what the thing is.
Okay.
You can't be. It's like. If you don't look in the box,
you don't know. No, it's a philosophical mind experiment about the way quantum mechanics works. Okay, that's all it is. It's technically, according to everything we know about science, we don't know until we do the measurements. So you don't know whether the cat is alive or dead until we open the box.
So it's talking about observer's bias?
Yeah, literally the observer effect. In regards to science. The whole premise is that there's radioactive material, we don't know how to...
right, because the electrons with the shooting the only...
Yes.
Oh, okay, so I did get it.
Okay.
I did understand.
Okay.
Because I knew that the electron slit experiment... with the electrons and they were shooting.
But we don't know until we check.
And then when you were watching it, it would behave a certain way. But if you weren't, but then how could they know it was behaving a different way if they weren't watching?
Until you check, you don't know.
So you can never know.
Until you check. And then you open the box and the cat's either dead or alive. And that's it. That's it.
What is it? What is the significance of a cat in the box?
It was just a thought experiment. It was literally a philosophical thought experiment.
Experiment?
The experiment is that you leave radioactive material in a fucking container. And it'll emit radiation. And eventually that radiation will trigger a switch. That switch will fucking kill the cat. Basically it will cause the trap to kill the cat. And you will never know whether that radiation will trigger the trap until you open to check whether the cat's alive or dead.
What?
Because the way the radiation reacts, we don't know. We don't know how it's going to happen. We don't know how it's going to work.
Why? I didn't know radiation was a thing in the thing.
It was. Just go back and take a look at it.
That's dumb. That's not that.
That's dumb, yet you understood it. Yet maybe I explained it in a totally different way that you might not have understood. Maybe I'm wrong. Who knows?
Radiation.
Schrodinger's fucking guess, guys. Fucking
Wait,
go.
What is it about radiation that makes it specific that if you see it?
You just literally said the slit experiment.
No, but that's the electron shooting thing.
No, it's exactly it. We don't know where electrons are going to go until we check. And when the moment we check, they're not there anymore. So the only way to check would be to see if they're hidden in the right spot that we know about. Right? And the one way for it to know whether it hit a spot...
No, the idea is that the electron changes shape based on the type of thing that it has to go through. So it would change from a wave to a something. Oh, fuck, I hate...
No. Okay, the light slit experiment was whether light takes the form of a particle or a wave. Because there's different waves and particles.
Right.
So it either goes through the slit as a wave and hits multiple points in the emitter, or it hits a single point. The point was we were getting results for both, and we could understand why we're getting results for both.
Okay.
So the whole point is that when we measure...
Actually understanding that is less complicated than the Schrodinger's thing.
The Schrodinger's cat is we don't know, we can't measure how certain things react until we measure them.
Okay, sure.
That's pretty much the sum of the experiment, is that...
Explaining that the analogy is more complicated than the explanation.
It's because it's a really smart guy who was playing with fucking radiation, who's like, let me come up with something interesting.
That's dumb.
And he thought of a thought experiment and went...
It's a dumb thought experiment.
It is a dumb thought experiment.
Schrodinger, you were dumb. I don't like you.
All right. Well, at some point the camera turned off. I think I turned it back on just now. You will see a sign when the camera turns off and when the camera turns on, letting you know when whatever. This is my problem. This is my problem. But I think I know what I want for Christmas this year, and that's a capture card because that will require me not to get a new camera. Unless I get a new camera, then I need a capture card as well. I want to document what the fuck that was.
We're gonna just have to be on camera soon. I need to figure out how to not get kicked out of school. and not have the same thing that happened to Lindsay Shepherd happen to me. Actually, no, it's just an over-exaggeration. I think I'll be fine.
You think it's an over-exaggeration?
If as long as I don't see how my opinions, I want to believe that as long as I don't bring it to my students, and I'm going to be teaching research. I think I'll be teaching research methods and statistics, maybe social psychology.
So as long as you don't bring your politics into the classroom, it's A-okay. But only if your politics are the wrong politics.
Well, I don't think. I don't know if I feel like the community that we're talking, I just don't think that the chances of any of my students finding me on YouTube, even if I was on YouTube, and then going to complain about me because of something that I've said.
You have to remember people are petty pieces of shit.
Right, but then that's, I don't think I actually say anything that's extreme and that's bad. And if that happens, then, maybe that's a risk I should take. Maybe that's not right.
But the only question is whether you want to pursue a career in academia or you want to pursue a career in non-academia. Academia is kind of garbage lately.
Yeah, but I love it. And I think that if all of us have been, it's going to change. I think internet and online in the future is going to change what academia is going to be. But I like teaching. I think that the most maybe most important, the most significant lasting effect that you could have to change or to make a change in this world, if you are someone who wants to do that, is to teach others. And to teach what you know and teach what you know well. That's why, I'm not expecting to teach everything, and politics is not something that I'm planning to teach, so I'm sure that I could keep those two things separate. Hopefully. I don't know,
I would love to agree with you, and I would love to say that just because you choose not to teach politics, you'll be
social psychology does touch into policy. So no, I am going to be tied into politics and policy. I don't know, but maybe for that reason I should. I don't know. And the camera just went in.
The camera
anyway,
just died.
I haven't. I'm just thinking out loud here. I don't know. I don't know what the consequences would be. I don't know if you should do it despite the consequences.
Do any of us know?
No. But I do know that I love the social sciences and studying it, and I don't. If I can try to stay in and legitimize it and work with people who are in there to legitimize it and not. But I think even culture is changing now. Maybe things will change. I think the SJW thing in universities might not last very long.
A lot of people we know are saying that the culture war has semi-won. They're saying we won the culture war. They're saying that's it. The next generation is going to be more conservative than ever, and they are going to just what is it? Is the backlash is now going to be the Puritan conservative backlash, which is not something I wanted to begin with. I didn't want the SJWs gone. I personally don't want the liberal point of view gone.
To be lost?
No, it's not lost. I understand where it came from. I understand how it got there. I understand where we went wrong, where we went right. I was there. I experienced it, right? I was there. I was drawn in by the what do you want to call it? The pure where do you start? Where do you get to the liberal point?
It's about it's the altruistic.
Altruistic.
Yeah, it's this thing of wanting to make the world a better place, but this is so stupid because, like, and this is what, and again, I really, really want you to listen to Raka on Dave Rubin, and he talks about objectivism, which is this new thing.
Look.
Let me make a point about, all I just want to say is this idea of doing things, there's been a social acceptance of the idea of sacrificing and going through hardship for the sake of others and just doing things for other is this virtuous thing, and this idea of putting yourself first and being selfish is seen as a bad thing. And this is the current context, and I do think that right now, before we figure out policy and communism and all of these and the role of government and all of these things, we do need to go through this period of another enlightenment to figure out what are our values as a human species and how do we want to approach the future, because things are going to get more complicated as technology advances and other planets and other species on other places start coming into the play.
Well, save it for the conspiracy streams. I agree with you. I don't believe that liberal...
If anyone thinks we're naive enough to think that we're alone in the universe...
chances are, I don't think we are either.
No, but, yeah.
Okay, let's not get sidetracked. I don't want the liberal perspective gone. I don't want it crushed. I want people to have the optimism, the hope, the drive to want to make the world a better place for everybody. I've never lost that. I keep talking about how hardcore of a liberal I was. Maybe next podcast, if we do one anytime within the next couple of weeks, I'll actually get into it. I was never intentionally a shitty person to anybody. And I never wanted to hurt anybody. I never wanted my entire liberal perspective that I've had my entire life was not there to harm other people, to take control of other people. Whenever I would talk about it, you may have heard me talk about it, but like when I thought about what the communistic approach, the communistic perspective of my people, as the Russian people who wanted to achieve full equality, the ability for everyone to exist harmoniously in a society, was incredibly idealistic and was incredibly fantastic, and it may have been completely wrong.
But that is wrong. Like, I don't know, this idea of eliminating suffering. Like, suffering...
No, it wasn't about eliminating suffering. It was literally about the people in Africa. Like, you hear stories, like, I'll joke about it nowadays, now weeks, now fucking months, that, like, people in Africa are having children when the closest water well is 7 days walk, or 3 days walk, or 4 days walk. Who cares? Why are you having children? And people keep telling me because they don't have contraception, because they don't have a choice, because they don't have whatever. And then the Pope shows up and says, "Fucking stop." What does the Pope say? What does the Pope say? Does the Pope say use contraception, or does he say don't use contraception, or does he say get AIDS? What the fuck does the Pope even say? I'm still undergoing a massive identity crisis as an individual myself.
I think we all are. I think this is the problem.
I don't think we all are. I don't think we all are.
I think we all really
No,
are.
because
as millennials, I think we are.
I personally am on the ass end of the millennial scale. I am at the very end. I'm in like the last year of the millennial scale, which kind of reveals my age.
1980.
That's the last year?
Yep.
That's not the last year.
1980.
1980. Okay,
1980 to 94. That's the millennial scale.
Well, okay, so I guess I'm somewhere in there.
Me, you, my sister, like most of our closest friends who are older, most of our closest friends who are younger, all of us, and identity. And I think the reason is not because of this, it's because of globalism and globalization and integration, where I don't think our generation, I think that we all think that we're struggling through something individual, but we're all going through the same thing. Cultures are crossing, People are crossing. Relationships are crossing. We're seeing similarities, and this idea of community is moving towards a real world to an online world for our generation. We had MySpace, we had ICQ. We literally categorized our friends into groups on our computers. This is how we grew up. Our way of interacting has changed. Our way of interacting with ourselves and as our peer groups has changed. I grew up, me and you, we're 9 years, 10 years in our relationship. When we got to know each other on MSN. We spent hours and hours a day talking to each other on MSN.
Was it MSN?
On MSN.
Fuck.
I would come home from school and talk to my friends on MSN. We interacted with each other and learned to communicate with each other through...
Wait, have we been together that long that
yes.
MSN is where I have all those...
Me and you, I remember I was at work. I had MSN. We saw each other. I even have... I probably deleted them, but we had pages and pages of MSN conversations.
God damn.
We spent hours and hours. I remember, and this is why Discord fit with me so well, because MSN was this way where I felt connected to the world. Like I felt like just the way that your phone, and now I guess your phone is replacing that. Like if you weren't online, if people couldn't get to you, you felt cut off. Your literal communication like that. This is from grade 7, 6. I remember ICQ, that little oh. Yeah. That was like, that's someone trying to get in touch with you.
I wonder why they went with when people try to get in touch with you.
I don't know. It was a cute sounding sound.
It was a really cute sounding sound. I'm gonna see if I can find the sound and actually fucking embed it into this podcast so you guys can hear it. About now.
Anyway, I'm just saying that the millennial generation, like the way that we learned to communicate with each other was not the same way. Like people, like we, and I think the internet and technology, people just because of the fact that they were neighbors and grew up beside each other, that was all the bond that they needed.
But no,
it didn't matter if you were a good person or a bad person or you had anything in common, whether you liked the same thing, just because you knew each other and you grew up with each other. And that still exists today to some extent.
Hold on. I just slipped into this moment of reminiscing and thinking back to my past, and that was all fine and dandy. But me and you knew, yes, we got home and we talked to each other.
Yeah, we spent hours and hours together.
We spent hours and hours together at a coffee shop. You hating the fact that I was chain smoking the entire time, having endless political discussions.
That was later on in our relationship, but in the beginning, in the very beginning, that was we started dating at the end of the age of MSN. MSN was already starting to die.
Me and you started dating after fucking weeks of just being drunk.
Okay, we started dating after I finished high school, a year after I finished high school. And while I was in high school, MSN was still huge. By the time we started dating, MSN was dying.
My only point was that MSN died out. Yes, I remember MSN. It was a fun, interesting time. But me and you got to know each other over MSN privately. About me and you.
But I'm just saying writing was our way of and then text messaging.
No, it's not the same. It's not the same because me, like I said, okay, this is what I'm trying to get at. Me and you got to know each other. While me, for those of you who know me in real life, know that I was a chain smoker, coffee chugging, fucking ranter. That's what I do. I loved the window of a coffee shop because I felt like that was my stage for people inside to fucking watch me. And I ranted to people about my political views, my ideologies, my perspectives, my conspiracy theories in front of a coffee shop while chain smoking and chugging back coffees for hours a night. You got to know me when like you were I'm sorry to say this, you were kind of my audience. You and the select few other people who are hanging out with me while I was hanging out at Tim Hortons.
Yeah, and then we got bored of that.
Drunk or whatever. Saw me rant for hours in front of a coffee shop about conspiracy theories, about politics, about every aspect of the life we ever had. And that's how we got to know each other. Yes, me and you got to know each other on a more personal basis, on a more intimate basis.
Yeah, we spent every day together in real life too. But when we couldn't be together, that's how we communicated. And in a relationship, when you were in a personal relationship, in a romantic relationship with someone, you need that physical element, right? So that is because of the physical element, we got to know each other in person too. But when it comes to friendships in today's day and age, do you want to share? No, do you want to go get another one?
No, we're almost done.
Okay. Well, when it came to friendships, that physical requirement isn't there anymore, and so that's how we learn to communicate and I don't know.
No, but this is why
talk to each other.
This is why this world is really interesting to me, because everyone growing up right now. See, I don't even know whether they know their next door neighbor. I never knew my next door neighbor. I knew people from around. I knew what people did. I knew what people do. But when me and my friends wanted to get together, we got together at a coffee shop and ranted about stuff. But even that was purely me. Other people I know got together, got fucking high as shit, and sat around playing video games all night long without actually conversing.
Yeah.
Like, I have those friends. I know those people who are like, they'll call me up and be like, yo, you want to get together? And I'll be like, yo, sure. Come meet me at fucking Tim Hortons. I'll be fucking ranting where I normally am. And they're like, no. Fuck your bullshit. Me and a couple of people are getting together to fucking smoke a fuck ton of pot. And we're going to be playing the new whatever fucking current video game is around. And I'll be like, that sounds boring. That fucking sounds like shit. I do not want to sit in a room high off my ass looking at a screen. That's not what I want to do. Guess what I'm doing right now? Right now, I come home after work. We have our fucking beer. We have our dinner. And I come down and I stare at the fucking screen playing video games. Talking to people about, I guess I'm still trying to recapture that whole thing of like talking to people about political subjects. And maybe we all are. But let's conclude this, I guess. So my job is going to be taking me somewhat out of the city and somewhere far away. I'm looking for somebody to replace me on Dumpster Fire because I don't want to leave Trigger hanging, but I also don't want to I don't want to leave him all by himself. I don't want him to feel to just be there by him. I don't know how to fucking describe this fucking feeling. I put in a whole year into Dumpster Fire, and I might be having one more final Dumpster Fire for my farewell. Probably won't be next week because I already know I have plans in Toronto next week. The week after that is like Christmassy, New Year's-y time. So we're probably going to be exploring the capital of fucking Canada, walking around taking pictures with each other. And like right after that, I'm going to be fucking working way the fuck out of the city. So I don't even know where I'm going to be most of the time. Maybe some Friday nights I might be too tired because we're going to be pulling 10, 11-hour shifts. Just fucking scrambling out in the middle of winter. Although if you guys do want to come join our Discord, we're around doing what we do. The Discord's always in the description. Feel free to click that. Our Patreon is always in the description if you guys give a shit about getting us some new equipment or some cameras. Our website will eventually be featuring a store at some point or another. I don't 100% know what our store is going to be selling, but definitely a few t-shirts and a little bit of merchandise from here and there. I'm still thinking of building our network, but that might be a whole different topic for another time. I don't know if people want to join a Silerious network of just. I don't know. I feel like it's a joke to me because, or that's not a joke. It's my dream. It's my passion.
No, ours.
I want to start a network. I want us to be able to hang out.
We'll make a video on what we want the network to be.
All right. So there's that, and I just want more people to join me. I don't want to be one of those snobby pieces of shit. Maybe some of that socialist garbage is still ingrained in me. I don't believe I'm better than anybody else. I just believe I think the way I think, and other people think the way they think, and I don't think they're worse off for it. People could be wrong. I was wrong. Like, for fuck's sakes, I talk about how I was wrong, how my socialism, my socialist, utopian fucking misunderstanding of everything that happened in history was wrong. And I may be trying to rectify it, but I also don't want it gone. I don't want the idealism gone out of children. I don't. I've been pointing this out. How much worse would it be if children were like, fuck socialism, fuck helping the poor, fuck everyone. I don't want any of that shit. No. We want people to care about each other. We want people to be together.
The government. That they think that the government is supposed to be the source of solutions.
Let's not jump into.
We are the source of solutions, not the government.
Yeah.
We don't need the government to help the poor. People can figure it out on their own. Giving government more power is not the answer.
Given the government that we're currently unhappy with, more power is not going to be the answer to our problems. Okay, what is that meme I keep posting? I'm gonna try and shove it up here for you guys to watch, but like, you know, when you elect a substitute drama teacher to legalize marijuana and instead he makes dog blowjobs legal, it's pretty much what we're getting in Canada right now. But I hope we find a decent substitute for me, because I just can't be there. I don't.
We have to. We'll talk to Trigger. I would still like to be involved, but maybe we can move it on another night. Since you'll be gone in the middle of the week, I'll be all lonely and by myself. So
that's the best time to hit on Siggy, you guys. If you guys want to gather attention, it's when I'm not around.
I'll be at school mostly, but anyways. So we'll see what happens.
All right, guys.
That was 2017. Let's see what 2018's got to bring.
Maybe I'm gonna try and do one more before New Year's live stream.
We will have a Sunday before.
No, I said live stream. I want one before New Year's live stream. We might be live streaming somewhere. I'm gonna try and post it. I don't know who's watching this. I don't know who gives a fuck about this, but I really do hope you guys follow me on any of the goddamn links I fucking posted. There's like a million of them. I'm not asking you to support me financially. I'm fucking doing that myself by having a goddamn job. But if you want to follow us and find out what we're up to, we have all of our fucking social media links. We have all of our candid accounts. We have all of our bullshit linked in the description below. Feel free to follow us. I tweet things out once in a while. I use gab.ai. I use Minds. I use whatever. Minds actually has more fucking followers than YouTube does. That's really goddamn sad. Because I worked really hard towards getting a YouTube audience. And yeah,
wrap it up.
Life takes interesting turns.
Good night. I'm done.
All right, Siggy's done. You guys have a good night, and come see us in the Discord if you give a shit about meeting us. If not, I hope you had fun listening to this, and have a good night.